right now we have a full lab. Gustavo's going to be doing, I'm going to be hanging out, just chilling, because we want to answer your questions live. We only have like an hour, so we're going to go until 2 p.m. Pacific, so we got an hour. And what are we going to be doing today?
So today we're going to be building an agent to order a pizza. So I'm pretty sure most people like pizza. So
I like pizza.
Ordering pizza through an agent is a nice way to get introduced to them. And what better way than doing it with technology, you know?
Now, do you have a favorite pizza place?
Here in Seattle, yeah, I actually really like Tutabella. They have oven baked pizza, but I'm a traditionalist. I don't tend to add a lot of things into my pizza, so anything that goes weird like Hawaiian pizza does not. I don't vibe with it.
Interesting. I vibe with almost all pizzas. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Tutabella is as an Italian. You know, one of my favorite Napoli like styles of pizza, just super delicious. I will say, also a huge fan, Little Caesars.
Really?
Pizza. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was a while since I had some Little Caesars.
It's been a while for me too.
The Little Caesars that I was eating in college is not the Little Caesars of today.
I agree.
Their pies, they're pretty good, you know, especially if you get like off a long flight. Oh, I just need to go grab something hot and ready.
Hot and ready.
Hot and ready, man.
Yep.
I
agree.
So I don't know where we're gonna be getting pizzas from, but I'm hungry. I need any lunch. So let's get into it. I'm ready. And ask your questions live in the YouTube chat on Discord. We'll be monitoring everything. So we're gonna go there. And no, we cannot take any breaks. We gotta go. People in the chat like, no. Well, you can take a break. Just hit pause.
Yeah, we have this on demand after, right?
Yeah, and you can pause the live.
Yeah.
You need a little break. Pause.
Yeah,
Come back.
exactly.
We'll still be here.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, just to introduce myself, my name is Gustavo Cordido. I'm a cloud advocate in AI here at Microsoft. And I'm going to be running out through our Build a Pizza Ordering Agent with Microsoft Foundry and MCP Lab. So to begin with, I always like to show a little demo of kind of what you're going to be building and get you excited about the stuff that you're going to be doing. So I go here. Oh, I need to move this over to the other desktop. Give me 1 second.
I like your background.
I like it. Yeah, it's a crying Shiba.
Wow.
Wait, I'm not sure which one I'm in. Isn't this one? It's the other side. There we go. Oh.
Maybe just duplicate.
Yeah, we got it. I think I'll duplicate for now. Oh, where's my mouse?
Yeah, let's duplicate. That'd be easier. Yes. We're trying to get all fancy with a presenter view, but
yeah, it's always the we're in extended display. Oh no, I'm using that's the extended one. Oh, I thought I got it. Give me 1 second. This always happens to me.
We've been struggling with presenter view all day, basically.
Yeah. What do you want to show?
Okay.
Oh, it's a mirroring. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it was the default option.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
I just clicked on it. All right. So here we have a little pizza hotline. So I'm going to give a call.
Hello.
Just got to wait a little bit. Hello? That's not picking up.
Hello.
Oh, there it is. Oh, this always happens with demos. I'm going to refresh this. If it doesn't break in a demo day, you know, are you doing your job right in this?
And we also have HDMI outputs and inputs and stuff like that.
Hello? Can you hear me? All right, I'll give it one more go. And I'll turn off the microphone from the beginning. I think that might be it.
Hi there. I'm Chris from Contoso Pizza, your friendly pizza helper.
My name
What's
is
your name?
Gustavo.
Nice to meet you, Gustavo. Which Contoso Pizza location are you ordering from?
I'll be ordering from
DF Seattle. Great choice, Gustavo. Did you know Contoso Pizza Seattle features murals by local artists and uses Washington grown wheat for its signature sourdough crust? Now, would you like to order the week special or pick a pizza from our menu?
Do you have margarita pizza available?
Yes, Gustavo, we do have margarita pizza on the menu. Would you like
Yeah,
to
I'll go with
that?
that. and I don't need any extra toppings.
Got it, Gustavo. 1 margarita pizza with no extra toppings.
No, that would be it.
Would you like... Alright, Gustavo, you ordered 1 margarita pizza for $12. The total is $12. Did I get that right?
Yep, thank you.
Would you like to... Thanks, Gustavo. Your order is placed. The pickup location is 123 Pike Street in Seattle. Your order number ends with 0.
Cool. So the audio may or may not have come through.
Not for us,
Not for us.
them.
Hopefully for them, it came through.
For them, it
It
should
did?
be
Okay,
coming
cool.
up. So
Awesome.
basically,
Was that Hank?
That is Hank. That
It's
is
got Hank through the thing. I love it. Oh.
here. All right. So that's basically what we're going to be building today. We're going to be building the agent that orders the pizza at Contoso Pizza. So basically everything that runs in the background of the little demo we just showed, using both Foundry Agent Service and the Pizza MCP server that we built for it. So a little introduction to what we're going to be building is also explaining what agents are. And in this case, an agent is just an autonomous software entity that perceives its environment, it makes decisions, it takes actions to achieve specific goals. This often uses artificial intelligence techniques, and you probably heard the word agent a million times now. So we just wanted to give a little explanation of what it is. Now, an AI agent in this case is composed by different elements. In this case, we have a large language model, instructions, and tooling that all processes the input that we have that comes from the user and produces a nice output. For this lab, we're going to be touching on each one of these components. So the first one is going to be the language model, which is basically what predicts the next most likely token. Is what powers this agent to be able to understand and process human language. The next step is going to be the instructions. This is what provides the model with additional context to generate a response. And then a little example here. If we ask a regular model, do you like pineapple on your pizza? It will say that it doesn't have taste or preferences. It'll give you quite a mild response. It doesn't really have an opinion on anything like that. But if we provide an instruction where we say, you're an AI assistant that helps with pizza questions, and you do not like pineapple on pizza because you probably like it better, and we ask the same question, we get a different response. And that's what we're looking for, is altering and guiding the behavior of the agent towards our liking. Now, the last part that we're going to be touching upon is the tooling. This is what enables your agent to perform tasks, and this is what differentiates it from a chatbot. We're going to be touching on two types of tools. One is going to be the tools that retrieve the relevant data, and tools that take action. So the relevant data retrieving tools is regular retrieval-augmented generation, just being able to provide data in a store or a storage and in a database, and having the agent connect the thing. And then tools that take action, which is what we're going to be diving into for function calling. Function calling is just the capability of a large language model to take a user-defined function as an input and generate a structured output. So for example, if we're having an input from the user saying, I would like to order 1 Hawaiian pizza, and you have the instruction saying that you place pizza orders, and you also provide a function definition that allows the model to do that, instead of just replying sure and creating some random text, the LLM will actually output a large function called response, which then triggers the function that we're looking into, makes the call through the pizza API, it's able to put on the order, and then generates a new response message that's more structured. So we have a success, an order number, the price, and the date. Lastly, that goes back to LLM, and we get an assistant message that's more a natural language way, like your pizza's order, your order number is 102, the total price is $14, etc. So to round out, this is basically what we're going to be building. It's just we're going to create an agent, we're going to create a thread, which is the way that the agent communicates with us, the users. Then we're going to run the agent, check the run status, make sure that everything runs perfectly, and display the agent's response through this architecture you see on the end here.
That's pretty cool. I mean, there's quite a lot of different pieces. I mean, even the demo is pretty cool, like the actual real-time response, ordering, process all going on. To see it all come together is really cool. So I'm excited to kind of dive through this and actually follow along as myself.
Yeah, awesome. So without further ado, for all you following online, this is the link that you can follow through to get to the workshop. I suggest you scan the QR code as well. This is something you can also carry on your own time afterwards if you cannot keep up, because I will be speeding through some things that will take some time if you do it personally, like deploying resources and so on. But without further ado, I'll get along and start. So once you click on this, you're going to be led to this page down here, which let me make it big. This is our, and I'm gonna add some zoom into it.
Yeah.
I think there should be fine. So this is going to be the instructions that we're going to be following. It has all the overview, all the things that we're going to be looking into for this workshop. So we have the agenda, the different chapters, the requirements. That's very important. The first thing you need is the browser and access to the Azure portal, an Azure subscription, a development environment, which we'll provide through Codespaces, and familiarity with some Python basics. You don't really need any deep AI background required for this. So without further ado, I'll also show you what I'll be doing here. So if we go into the developer environment setup, this is the first step that we're going to be carrying through. So as you see, we're going to be, first of all, forking a repository that we're going to be building with. I'm going to show you exactly how that looks like because I have it right here. If you go to the link in the workshop, you'll see that we are at a GitHub repository provided by the Global AI community. Basically, what you're going to do is click on this little button that says fork up here.
And I'm putting all those links in the YouTube chat for everything that we're talking about as well. And they'll stick it and pin. So follow them. And then also, if we're going too fast, pause, do the thing, the lab. Exactly. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. Perfect. So I already forked this earlier. So I'm going to show you where I have the other one here. Let me just, there. This is what I suggest you all do as well, unless you have two screens. In this case, I don't have two screens with me. So just kind of slide the workshop to the side and then have the rest of the toolings on the other side. So it's a little easier for you to work. So as you can see, this is the Global AI repository. I already forked it and I already have it on my own personal repository here. What you're going to do next is start a code space. If you go into the button that says code and you go into code spaces, you'll see a button here that says create a code space in main. I already did that for the sake of time. And once you have it done, you'll be greeted with a screen similar to this one. We'll make it a little bigger here. Nope. So you'll be able to see basically everything that's inside the repository, and you have a VS Code online basically. So that's the first steps. And you'll see that the new code spaces basically will build a container for you, create a virtual environment, install all the dependencies on it. So the first thing I'm going to do here is start my virtual environment. So let me activate. That way, once you see that you have it, the little .vmv here, you just know that you've activated your virtual environment. I'm going to go into my workshop directory, where I'm going to be creating all the Python files required for this. And just to verify the environment, as the instructions say, I'm going to do Python -- version. And as you see, we have Python 3.10, so we're good.
And now the code space kind of set this all up for you. So we're not actually on our computer, but if you were to pull it down, you need to have Python on your machine.
Yes, exactly.
To do this.
Exactly. Yeah. All of those requirements you will need on your machine in case you don't run it from the code space.
So there's a specific framework that we're using for this, someone was asking? Obviously Python.
Yeah, Python, and pretty much that's it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha, nice.
All right. So here we can go on and start the workshop. So first thing that we're going to be doing is setting up Azure Microsoft Foundry in this case. For that, we're going to have to log into Azure. I'm going to be straight with you. I already logged in and did some of these myself because I did want to make sure we had everything ready. But if you go into the Azure portal, if you click on this link, you'll be brought out onto the portal at azure.com. This is where you're going to be logging into your account, into your subscription. So the first thing you're going to do is create a resource. I already created, but I'm going to show you how to do it. You go into create a resource, you type in Microsoft Foundry up here. Up close, and you can click on create Microsoft Foundry. And basically what you're going to be doing here is you're going to have to create your resource group unless you already have one. In this case, I already had one from before. You're going to give it a specific name, such as a pizza workshop resource. For this case, we're going to be using West US because that's where we're going to be working on. And if you see this domain name is already used because I'm already using it. You provide a default project name, and then basically you're just going to clear. I'm just going to add 001.
Yeah, so it'll tell you if it's already being used or something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's the name. So the resource group is for you.
Yeah.
So that can be unique to you.
Exactly.
Whereas the actual name is a unique name for global.
Yeah. So you just want to make sure that it's something that's not created.
Yeah.
The project name, it can also be whatever that's personal to you as well. All we would do is click next, 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 until we get into create and review, which is the last tab here. For this, I mean, once you click on create, you're going to start creating and populating your resource. For this scenario, I've already ran and deployed the resource because I didn't want to waste any time there. So you can see I have Pizza Agent Dev Days as my Microsoft Foundry project here. Now I can just navigate to ai.azure.com, which I'm going to do right now. And here you'll see I have my Pizza Workshop project, which is what you're going to be looking at once you're deploying yourself.
And if people have never seen Foundry before, this is sort of your one-stop shop for figuring out your models, deploying different models, like even like fine-tuning models, things like that.
And even playgrounds. You can also have different playgrounds that you can chat with. That you have an audio, video, chat playground, etc. You can test these models in. And funny that you bring models up because that's actually the next step.
Nice.
Deploying our base model. In this case, I did not deploy it beforehand, so you all can see it.
Sure.
We're going into model deployments, down here in assets. We're clicking into deploy model, deploy base model. And for this scenario, we're going to be using GPT-4o, but Microsoft Foundry has over 11,000 models at this point, so you have your pick of the route, and you can just pick whatever you want.
And the cool part too is that when you deploy this, you'll get a single URL, but you'll also be able to swap out models near instantaneously and deploy multiple.
Indeed.
So for my feedback flow, I was using GPT-4o, and I switched to 5 Nano because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
And I was
fair.
And I was like, give me the cheapest possible model I could ever get. And I was using some mini models and things like that. I was like, Nano, that's what I need. And
exactly.
the tiniest Microsoft. But I could compare them side by side. So this is a great place to do it. And it's super fast. I think it's done.
Yeah, the deployment is done. Boom. So we have the deployment ready. If we went back to our deployments, you're going to see it here, GPT-4o. That's all we need. And just to check it out, we can test the model here in the playground. I'll go into the chat playground, and I'll just type hello world, as the programmers do. And you'll see, hello, how can I assist you today? That means we're running, so we're good. So we've set up the Microsoft Foundry resource. We've set up the project for it, and we deployed our model. So that's basically all the first steps.
And I want to point out the first step in which you did it earlier was you didn't actually deploy anything. So you just created the resource, and that just takes a few minutes to set up. So we're trying to save a little bit of time there, where we didn't actually create anything in the back end until right now, which was actually deploying the model. Yeah. It's all actually relatively quick to do.
I decided to create the resource in advance just in case, there's always internet connectivity issues or stuff. So I just want to make sure everything's fine on that end. But yeah, it takes about 1 to 5 minutes to create. All right, so we're going into our first step, which is creating your first agent. This is the fun part. So first thing we need to do is log in into Azure. So I'm going to go back into my code space right here. And let me make this a little smaller here. Oh, that's fine, because for now I don't need this. And for this, we're going to be doing Azure login, -- use device code. And what this is going to do is allow me to log in into the Azure CLI. When I get a link soon enough here with a code that I'll be able to input. And all you have to do is copy the code. Yeah, it's fine. That's because I'm on Mac. And once we click on the login here, it'll try to authenticate me through the code. I'm already logged into Azure from before, so it's just connecting here. Yes, there's my account. I am trying to sign in to the Microsoft CLI.
Really wants to be sure.
Yeah.
Are you
it's always triple check.
I'm really sure.
And that's it. We're connected. So if we go back here, I'll say authentication is fine. It basically brings up subscriptions that I have here. I have the Dev Day subscription that I'm using right now, and the enterprise subscription that I get from Visual Studio from before. I'm just not going to select anything because the default is already the one I want. If you have multiple ones, you can just scroll through them and make sure that you find the right one.
Yeah, and that's important too, because it needs to be able to find the resources and the subscriptions. And some folks, if you're just creating your free account, like setting it up, you just have one subscription. For me, sometimes when I actually accidentally put my work account, I have like 1,000 subscriptions. And I was like, oh no.
So you want to make sure you select the right one. Right. The next step here is just installing the required packages. We are technically already installed these by running the code spaces, but I'll run the pip command just to make sure everything's installed. I need to allow. This should be fast because all the requirements are already satisfied, so that's fine. All right, sweet. So all the requirements are there. The next step is creating our environment file.
Oh, what are some of those packages really quick?
Oh yeah, we have Azure Identity, Azure AI Projects, Azure AI Agents, so all these necessary for us to connect with the agents we're going to be building, basically all the packages we're going to be using as the SDK in the Python files, python.env so we can access our environment file, and JSON-ref so we can access the JSON files we're going to provide as data.
Perfect. Sounds good. It's kind of, so people are maybe figuring this out for themselves, like how did we get identity? Well, we had the package.
That's a valuable question.
Yeah.
All right. So the next step is creating an environment file. This is what it's going to be hosting our project connection string. This is what allows us to connect directly with Foundry. So I'm going to copy this here, paste it right here. And now I'm going to guide you to where you can find this on Azure Foundry. So basically, once you go into Foundry, you go into Overview, and you'll see your Microsoft Foundry project endpoint. That's basically where we're going to copy it here. And with that, we just replace the link here. We save, and that's our environment file. So that's all we needed there. That's the next step done. Now, just make sure, for sure, there's no spaces and that you have the quotation marks in your environment file. That's important, otherwise it won't be able to read it.
Good question here really quick is, if you were just on your local machine, would you be able to run Foundry local to connect to it instead of deploying the resources?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, we got that question in the chat. So we don't have the setup instructions there, but I guess it's just like a URL it's pointing to, right?
Another connection, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd just be a connection string. You can do that there as well. So feel free to send a pull request to the repo.
Yeah, we'll love pull requests. We love people to add new things to our workshops.
That'd be rad. Yeah, cool.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna work on creating our newest agent here. So again, we're gonna be working from the workshop directories. So I'm gonna create here agent.py, and that's gonna be our first thing. And the fun thing about this workshop is that I don't really need to type all the code. I can just copy and paste. But if you have questions about what the code's doing, I'll be able to explain that as well. So basically, I'm just bringing all the imports here, making sure I have the Azure SDK, environment handling, all the helper classes that we're going to be working with.
Let's make it a little bit bigger too.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
Perfect.
It's just always small with one screen. Yeah, and I'll make this
there. Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Sweet. And I'm going to load the environment file. So this is the next thing. This is what allows you to get all the information from the environment file you just created. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is creating a project client. This is what connects your script to the Microsoft Foundry service and uses the connection string basically that we just created, we just copied. So if I paste this here, this is creating the project client object in this case through the project connection string that we have, and that's a credential we're using to connect to Azure directly.
And that's coming from that environment file, right?
Correct.
So I said in that case, that's where we're looking at those different backends. So we're going to be calling it for Foundry.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right, and now we're going to be creating the agent.
Oh, where did that default Azure credential thing come from? What is that from? An SDK?
Yeah, it's from the Azure Identity package that we're bringing in.
Very cool.
It allows you to connect a little easier.
Wow.
All right, now to create the agent, the next step in the code here is basically use an agent object. We're using the create agent function that comes from the AI project client, SDK. And here we provide the model, so in this case, GPT-4o, and the name of the agent. So in this case, let me change the name of the agent to Pizza Agent, make it a little...
And this is important. So whatever you named it, you want to update it here. Hopefully follow along. You call it Pizza Agent because everyone could call it that. But also the model name is important here too. Remember earlier when I said you could try out different models?
Yep.
All you had to do is just change that one string. Because the name of the model that you have, that's how it's going to go find what model to talk to.
Exactly.
So if you want to try the same exact thing with GPT-5 or GPT-5 Mini or GPT-5 Nano or whatever you want to do, you can just edit it there.
And even if you deploy the same type of models but with different token capabilities and you change the name of it, that's also going to track here. So you want to make sure you hold the right name.
Very cool.
All right. That's just going to be creating the agent here. And the next step is creating the thread. The thread, remember, is the way that agents interact with the user. So it's like a conversation that basically stores all the messages exchanged between the user and the agent. And this also is done by our project client agents thread. So this is going to be basically outputting that it created the agent, it created the thread for us to know. And then we're going to start adding our message. So here we're going to do a loop that lets you send messages to the agent. Here we're going to copy. Basically, we're going to try while we are getting answers, while this is happening, we're going to be waiting for the user to input any information, and we're going to get a response back from the agent, unless the user input is exit or quit, which will break the loop. We're going to create the process for the agent run, which is basically just processing the confirmation here. Let me go off this back one. So just so for all of you that may not be as familiar with Python, just so you know, Python is indentation sensitive. So we do not have curly braces here like you would do in Java or in JavaScript or TypeScript. It's indentation what tells the computer where the blocks are. So make sure that the indentation is fine. That's the most common error we find in people while working in live audiences like Ignite or so.
It's tricky with copying and pasting from different files and getting it. But those lines in VS Code are going to show you like where the lines show up, and then you're seeing even the squigglies, which are helpful as well. So helpful to figure out and fix those squigglies up. So one indentation in on it as well. Very nice.
Yeah. And lastly, I'm going to close the loop with a finally, which is basically using the agent at the end, so we don't have an agent running up. That's just cleanup. It's better for us in that case. So now the next most common mistake is people not saving. So I'm gonna just click Command Save, or you can also do it from here. And here I'm just gonna try running the agent now. So Python agent.py. And hopefully everything should work fine. We should be creating an agent, create a thread, and be able to communicate with them. We created the agent, created the thread, so now I can say, hello, how are you? Oh, and the output I may have it outside of here. Oh, because I have his first message. No. This tends to happen often as well. It's just the indentation always will create something. No, it should be fine. Huh. I think it's because I named the first message here. But the thing is that it's working so far because it's sending a message. I'm just trying to see how I can output it here. Actually, there's a beautiful thing about this workshop that I also recommend everyone look at. We have a final code sample at the end that has everything put together. So if you make a mistake like I probably did here with indentation, you can just copy the end result and paste it. Quit here, just interrupt it, and we can run it again, and hopefully now we'll see the answer back. There's probably an indentation issue like I mentioned before. Hello, how are you? Given that it's taking time, it means that it's working.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you run into an issue and you're not sure where your issue is, because maybe it was indentation, maybe you just had an extra tab there or tabs that I deleted like I did before, you can always go to the end of each page here and you'll have the final code sample that you can copy and paste to make sure and compare it to yours to see where the errors are.
Yeah, it's nice to walk through and understand the bits and pieces with comments, but then also really great just to be like, here's, just run this just in case. Because I've been in so many workshops and labs where there's a little casing and this thing and this, I can't compile, and there's a data binding thing. You're like, oh, actually, nice final is always good to go. But it's nice to break down these things. I think what's cool here, and you can clarify, is like, this is just 50 lines of code, and you're immediately not only having your authentication, you're talking and spinning up the client, you're communicating with the client and drafting it back as well. Now we're not doing anything special, like there's no pizza logic yet, but it's just like you're able to now have this communication.
Exactly. You just set up the initial agent for it.
Yeah.
All right, so the next step is adding agent instructions. So this is basically where we're going to be learning what a system prompt is and things like that. So to break it down for you, system prompt is what we call the instructions that we provide to the agent, or to the model rather, when creating the agent. We call it personality and rulebook of the agent because we can provide guidance on how to behave, how to respond, and also what kind of things it can do. So we have a couple tips here, like ensuring that the agent stays consistent across conversations. They help guide the agent's tone and role, so you can make it friendly, you can make it aggressive, you can make it funny or silly or so on. So there's different ways to guide the behavior. And you also reduce the risk of the agent going into like topics that are not important or that are not interesting to what we're doing. So we're going to be adding instructions here. So for this, we can pass them as instructions. So if we go back up here to where we created the agent, we can add a new parameter here called instructions. And we can say, you're a helpful assistant. Thanks, Copilot, for the little check in there because that's around what we're going to do. This is from Microsoft Foundry. Oh, let me copy this part though. Always provide concise step-by-step answers because I like that behavior.
Yeah, and you think of instructions, these system prompts in a way. A lot of people were talking as you type that about like how VS Code and Copilot work together, and it's a lot of the tweaking of the different models of the tools it has access to and these system prompts that are happening. So here, in this instance, we're kind of keeping it on track about what exactly it is able to communicate about.
Yeah, so I just saved the changes here, and I'm gonna just showcase it again. Because now it's a helpful system about Microsoft Foundry. How can I deploy a model in Microsoft Foundry?
I'll be interested if GPT-4o knows.
With Microsoft Foundry,
Yeah.
Honestly, me too. But we'll see if it may fabricate some of the stuff, but what I'm looking for here is mainly the concise step-by-step answers. And we do get step-by-step answers, and they're quite concise, each one of them.
I like it.
For your model, access Foundry, upload the model, set up deployment. Yeah. It sounds, some of it is probably fabricated because GPT-4o was not around when Microsoft Foundry came up. But
now, can you ask it about pizza?
About pizza? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like what,
how can I order a pizza?
I'll be interested if it says anything.
It'll probably say something with step-by-step answers, but I didn't say anything about not answering anything not related to Foundry, so.
That's the important part of these instructions, these sort of prompts, is that you can guide what it can and can't do. And almost the can't is almost as important as the what it can do.
As it can, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see, it's going to bit because it's probably processing the information, so it'll give me like a long answer about how to order a pizza, and it's not going to be related to Foundry at all.
Yeah.
But I never said not to.
But it would be cool if it was like, here's how to set up a way to order a pizza through an AI agent in Foundry. Now, that would be
crazy.
impressive.
Yeah. That would be impressive, honestly.
And it's like actually just points to this workshop.
Yeah. So yeah, we get a full-on way of how to do ordering a pizza. You choose a pizza vendor, decide how to order, in-store, select your pizza, all this. And this is not related to Foundry, but we never told the agent not to.
So. Yeah. But it is step-by-step and relatively concise.
Yeah, so it still works. All right, so for this, we're gonna be using also an external instructions file. This is a way to provide up something that's more complete and follows a little better structure. So we're gonna be creating an instructions.txt file here. I'm already actually gonna cut here, clear it up. And since I'm in the workshop one, I'm just gonna do instructions.txt. And that just creates a little instructions file for me. And here I'm just going to copy and paste these instructions. We're more than welcome to look into them, but this is a general set of instructions on how to interact with the people, what kind of tools and data access we'll have, and how the response should be in. I'm going to skip through it, because if I spend too much time reading the instructions, we're not going to be able to keep on working. So now we're going to modify the agent code. Remember how I just did the instructions as part of the... Let me just minimize this here. As part of the agent creation, I'm going to actually change this into opening the instructions.txt. So that's a fun part here. You can, since we're using an external file, we can just say open instructions.txt.read, thanks Copilot. And we're going to be adding actually a couple new parameters, which is a top P and the temperature. And what these parameters do, these are just simple parameters that you can add to guide how easy or how well the model will behave when it comes to predicting the next likely token. As I said before, these models work as prediction models. The temperature basically allows it to pick less likely options if it's higher enough, and if it's low enough, it'll pick only the most likely ones. So the higher probability that it has, it'll pick it and be more, I guess, more determinative instead of being more random or more creative. But basically, we're just allowing the model to be sort of creative, but not too much to the point that it fabricates stuff. So now that we added this, we should be able to run the agent again. Python agent.py.
And this is cool because someone was asking like, oh, why do we need this? And exactly the use case is you need to guide it to what you and how you want it to respond.
Exactly.
Right? Kind of think of it as different, a mode, if you will.
Exactly.
Right? Like a generic based model is going to respond just what the general default system prompt is, which is just a model and usually like a default prompt or just being a helpful assistant to respond with anything. But here you're really giving very concise orders and operations and guidelines to follow, and for it to go off and not go off track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And as you can see now that I asked, how can you help me, instead of telling me things about Foundry or stuff, it's actually saying, I can help you order pizza, check your menu, track your order status. If you're planning for a group, I can even suggest how much pizza you'll need. So let's say I say, I have a group of how many over here? Like 20 something.
About like, let's say 10 people.
10 people? Okay, I have a group 10. How many pizzas should I order?
Probably 10.
And we'll see, yeah.
How big are the pizzas?
Yeah.
Yeah. I ask Copilot this all the time. I'm like, why this user group?
Do you think the group has a light, average, or big appetite? I don't want to say big because we've been working all day. I want to say they're probably hungry.
Oh, wow.
6 to 7 large pizzas.
All right. I'm in.
There you go. Yeah, I'm into it, to be honest.
That's a pizza you always take it home, reheat it.
Yeah, exactly. It's such
Now
a
you
good
put
bread.
a slice in like an air fryer. That's the jam.
Oh yeah, I agree. All right, so that basically just covers the instructions. Now we've added instructions to the agent, so now we're one step closer to making this a full-on agent for pizza ordering. Now, the next step is one of the steps that is also very interesting, is adding knowledge with file search. By default, the model only knows what it's trained on, right? So it doesn't have access to any domain-specific information. It doesn't really know what kind of pizzas there are unless we've given some examples. So we want to make sure that we provide this information to the agent. So in this chapter, we're actually going to be using documents folder, and you'll see that here we have some stuff about it. But basically, what we're going to be doing with this is providing information about the Contoso pizza stores. So we're going to be adding locations, opening hours, and menus that will vary depending on these. So the first thing we need to do is create a vector store script. This is what's going to be adding all the data into our vector store. So first of all, we got to create and prepare our environment. So for this, we're going to be creating a new file. And let me exit here inside the workshop, and I want to call it add_data.py. Oh, it's a date. It's my bad. Rename. All right, add data.py. So the first thing, again, bring in all the imports and preparing the environment. So we're going to be loading the environment variables again. And this is because we're going to be keeping our credentials separate from the code again, and be able to connect with our Azure Foundry, with Microsoft Foundry project. The next step is connecting to the Microsoft Foundry project. So in this case, we'll be bringing in the project client. Again, similar connection to what we did before. Still the same SDK. Then we're going to be uploading files from the documents folder. So we're going to be adding this. We add basically a variable here for documents, for the documents variable. That's going to be this one that has all the information here. You'll be able to see it if you open the workshop folder. And basically, it's going to be collecting all this and collecting all these IDs from once they're loaded, and basically creating the vector store for us. So now we move into creating the fun vector store. Let me over here. We add the vector store, which is basically just a type of database that stores our information as vectors. So there's, that's one of the processes that are nice about these large language models, is that they're able to search through vector search rather than just regular key search. And the last stop here is basically vectorizing the files, and this is where I wanted to get to. So the way that vector stores work is that we have we convert our files or our data, in this case, into a vector representation of them, and that allows us for context searching, for a closer understanding of what these vectors are, and it allows the models to have a more accurate search based on the information that's being asked from the user. So it's really nice. It's very fun. It has a lot of math in it, but it's fun once you start reading into it.
Now, in this case, you're going through and we're just creating a script to show you how you would do it manually. But there's like automation ways, so you might like actually put this into your back end that's processing data or doing this all the time. And there's lots of vector databases out there, like even like SQL and Postgres and all these things support vector databases as well. Where is this putting it? Is it putting it just
It's actually creating a vector store inside of our
Foundry project? Oh,
So we're
interesting.
going to have everything there.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So you have the ability then to put it in Foundry or put it on maybe an existing, so you can connect to an existing vector database.
You can also connect. Yeah, you also can connect it. And these other databases can do all the vectorizing for you. So in this case, we should be fine.
Very cool.
Now, because I learned from my mistakes, I believe I copied and pasted everything right. But just to make sure that everything's working, I'm going to use the final file for the time's sake. And we're going to be running our Python data.py. This might take a little bit here because it's uploading files, so I did want to do it. From this, we're going to end up getting a vector store ID, and this is something that we're going to be using to connect with this from the agent that we have previously created. So while this is uploading, I'm going to start adding the new things into the agent.py file, so we have access to these data. So the first thing we're going to be adding is adding the file search tool. This is a tool we're going to be creating. So right after we create the AI project client, which is up here, I'm going to add the vector store. Once the upload is done, I'm going to be adding the vector store ID here, so I will not forget about that. And the file search, which is going to be a file search tool. This is just a tool we're going to provide to the agent. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing here is creating the toolset. So the toolset is just where I'm going to be hosting all the tools that the agent has access to. And I'm going to be adding the file search tool that I just created. Now, lastly, similar to what we did before with instructions and so on, we're going to add a new parameter here, which is going to be the toolset, and it's going to be the toolset that we just created. And that should be fine. Now, the agent's word is still uploading, so none of the documents might take a little bit based on the intranet. I mean, if it's really fast, it's be surprising. So I'm going to wait until, actually, it just finished. Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
It's like it knew I was about,
It
knew I was about to complain about it being slower.
That's kind of like when you're like, me and my wife joke, like, we'll always be like talking about something. All of a sudden, like, she'll see an ad on Instagram. It's like, oh, it knows. It's like,
oh yeah.
Now we need this new pan, I guess, in the kitchen to cook on. But it knows. It's always listening.
They're so good at it.
Yeah.
So the vector store ID.
I'm not trying to say that Instagram is listening to me, by the way. It just feels like it.
It feels like
it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So now we basically add the vector store ID that we were provided here into the vector store ID field that we had before. And with that, we should be able to run the agent. So I'm going to save and run Python agent.py.
Now, while that's spinning up really quick, you went through the creating the agent and you added some things in there, like the tool set, the temperature, the top P. Can you talk about those really quick, like what that actually means?
Yeah, I was talking about the temperature earlier. That basically it's a parameter that allows to control how random or creative the model is.
Got it.
So these parameters, basically these models predict or create a probability distribution out of the tokens that it's receiving. And it's depending on the values that you provide for temperature or top P, it may select only the ones that are closer to the highest probability, or may be a little more open and more creative and start selecting things that are not as likely. That's what allows the model to fabricate and create better, more out there responses. But if you want something that's very deterministic, you lower this value so that it will only select the ones that are closer to the highest probability in that case.
Got it. And you can play with that number based on the type of responses you want.
Exactly.
As well.
It's something you definitely should do.
Yeah.
All right. So we created the agent and the thread, and now we have information here. So let me ask a question like, which Contoso's pizza stores are open after 8 p.m.? Oh.
And this is cool too, because obviously there is no Contoso pizza store in existence. So it's like no GPT model or Anthropic model or any model is going to know about this or have any data on it ever, because it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Right? Now it may fabricate something like you said to be like, oh, I think it's things, but in this case, you've grounded it in the actual data.
Exactly. And if we see here, it says that, for example, the New York City one is open until 11 p.m. And so is the Perth, Australia, Pune, India, and Boston, USA. And we can actually double check that with the documents that we have here. So if I look into, I'm assuming this is going to be New York. Yeah, it's the New York City data document that we provided. And we can see it's open until 12:30 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and it's open until 11 p.m. on Monday, Thursday. So it did grab the information that we were expecting from it.
Very cool.
All right, sweet. So we basically just learn how the retrieval-augmented generation works in this case, how we ground the models, as James has said, with data that we provide, and we're able to actually provide these and interact with this information through the agent that we just created.
So now you could ask it anything about this data at all, and it would be able to summarize it.
Yeah,
basically in general. Well, was there any other fun data in those libraries? Let
me see if where is the nearest, because I like this question, Contoso Pizza Store. Sweet. We'll see if it picks one or if it asks me further questions. Can you please share your current location? I'm in Redmond, Washington.
So this is cool, right? So now this sort of back and forth with it, it's because you have that foundational model that knows how to parse the data you're asking, and knows about the data that it has to rag over, and then is responding.
And now we can say, and it responded. The closest one would be the one in Seattle, so that's accurate. I don't think we have anything closer to Redmond than Seattle in this case.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how basically we can interact with uploaded files. So that's the next step. We just finished another step of the workshop.
Very cool.
We're adding an estimation tool. This is basically calling and making your agent act. This is going to be what provides the agent with a new task, not only searching, but also interacting and creating new things. So we're going to be using function calling, which is what I delved a little bit into when we were talking at the slides. But it's basically what allows the model to carry out tasks that are outside of its initial scope of just answering and receiving and inputting input and output in this case. So this allows for some deterministic actions. It allows for safety and control, and it provides a better user experience in the end.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to be adding the pizza calculator tool. This is a tool we've developed in advance. I'll highly recommend y'all look into it in detail, because right now, for time's sakes, I will not be going strictly into it, but I'll explain what it does. We're going to be copying this. And what this is going to be doing is calculating how much pizza for people, depending on their appetite, depending on the amount of people, etc. So it's going to be, instead of fabricating or responding something that it sounds nice, in this case, it'll actually do some formula and some math into it to determine what's the best size to order in case, depending on the people that you have. And this function doesn't use any imports or anything like that, so we should be fine. So we created a tools.py file. We pasted our calculate pizza for people function, and now I'm just going to import that into my agent.py. So I'm going to say import from tools, import calculate pizza for people. And that way we already have a new one. I'll just move this one up just in case. Now we're going to expose this function as a tool. So we're basically going to create a function tool here. I'm going to add it right before the tool set. So function, tool, and functions, calculate pizza for people. And if I recall, that's it. Yeah. So we expose this function as a function tool. And this is what allows us to make it a tool or expose it as a tool for the agent. So we're inserting the block immediately after the fire search, and we should basically be adding this. And thanks, Copilot. So nice.
Yeah, it is important. So you think about what these models can do out of the box, right? And then we can extend these models, just like you'd extend an API or extend your application with a new functionality, right? This is just a method that now we're exposing that the model can call into when it decides to. And I think that's important. And in fact, we've learned a lot about MCP, Model Context Protocol, which is a standardized way of providing tools that basically any of these different MCP clients can communicate and talk to provide data back and forth with it.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned MCPs, because we're actually going to be connecting to one in a bit. So you'll get to see everything that James just mentioned live as well.
And when you're inside of like GitHub Copilot and VS Code, you can click on the little tools icon. You see a bunch of tools that are both tools, like seeing a file, editing a file, and doing stuff, searching, and then actually MCPs that are different sort of tools that are being investigated too. So these come all together as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
right, the last thing I did here was just enabling automatic function calling. This is just allowing the agent to invoke these tools without routing the calls to me manually. It's something that just makes it a little easier for the toolset in this case. So let me save and let's run the agent. And now I'm going to ask the same kind of question we had before, which is we are 7 people with heavy appetite. I'm going to say it was 10. Well, I'll keep it at 7 and see what pizzas should we order and see what it says. Before I calculate the pizzas in it, could you let me know your name and user ID? Oh, this is getting ahead of its own. My name is Gustavo. Because the thing is that we're going to be connecting to an MCP soon, and it's going to be needing those things. I don't have a user ID yet. I'm actually curious about this, but it usually doesn't ask for this. Fun fact for everybody at home, this is something that is always going to be interesting, at least to me, with these models, is that since they're not deterministic, you will sometimes run into questions that you've never seen before. I've run this a million times, and we still never got that question before.
Yeah, it was like different order operations. So, but now it did actually decide finally to call it.
Yeah, I told, hey, I don't have a user ID yet. It says, that's fine. Let me calculate the pizzas.
How about 150 people?
How about
with all different appetites?
I'm actually curious too.
So the fun part about building is you get to try it and actually see it in real time.
Yeah, so it says it recommended 2 extra large pizzas, and that should satisfy everybody. How many people have light, medium, or heavy? It is a mathematical function, so we need some numbers. I'll say 20 for light. We'll say 50 for medium. And actually, I'm curious if we'll be able to know how much is the for heavy.
Can do some math.
Yeah. Technically, you shouldn't. 4.0 is not a reasoning model that I recall.
Wow, cool. Thanks.
Oh, it actually did nice. For a group of 150 people, 2 extra large pizzas plus 1, 10 extra large, 20 extra large plus 1 large.
And the important part here is that this is calculated based off the data and information that we've provided it, right? Before when we were asking it was just like a generic response just based on what it thought the pizza sizes were, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, so we got to add some functions into this. We create a pizza calculator, expose it as a function tool, and added it to the toolset that we were previously discussing. Now, the next step is integrating with MCP, and it's actually going to be our last step. So we're almost there, and this is one of the fun parts. So as James was just saying, an MCP server just allows you to, or exposes you to different APIs or functions that allows your agent to do more and carry out more tasks without having to bring all of them into here as we did before. So the Model Context Protocol is just an open standard connecting AI agents to external tools, data sources, and services. It has a lot of benefits. I highly recommend you get accustomed to these terms and you start reading about it because it's super interesting and it's honestly one of the biggest, I think, advances we've had in the past years. So it's really nice. It's really cool to see into it. So for us to begin here, I'm going to clear my terminal. And what we're going to be doing is installing the Azure AI Agents SDK with MCP support. First thing, that's already satisfied. It's just making sure, you know. So it's already satisfied. So now we're going to be updating our agents.py imports to have the MCP related classes and utilities that we're going to need. So let me minimize this a little bit here. And up here in my imports, let me see if I'm not repeating anything. Nope, I'm good. All right. Yeah, I can actually, I'm gonna make this nicer because we're using the same import twice here from AI agents models, but yeah. So we're bringing all the toolings that we're going to be needing for MCP connection. And we have a Contoso Pizza MCP server. This is basically exposes your agent to APIs for pizzas, basically available menus and items, toppings, orders, etc. So you'll be able to connect to it and grant it like explicit permission to use this curated list of operations. So first thing we're going to be doing is creating our MCP tool. This is basically just going to be a new tooling similar to the function and the file search tool that we did before. We're basically going to copy here. And this provides access to all these tools. So we have get pizzas, pizzas by ID, toppings, toppings by ID, categories, orders, place an order, delete an order, etc. We have the server URL that we're going to be connecting to, the name of the server, etc. And adds the MCP as a tool into the tools that we created. Now, if you want to go into the parameters and everything here, we have some explanation in the tool in the workshop as well. So I'll be happy to have you all go through it. So we're going to be handling our tool approvals here. So we're going to add a custom run handler. This allows you to have some visibility and fine-grained control over what's executed. And I'm going to add this. I believe it's over here. This basically just allows the MCP tool to have all these connections and work with it. Now, we're going to pass this handler when running the agent. So if we go down here to where the agent is being run, we're going to add here, run handler. Oh, Copilot's being nice to me today. And we're going to save that. And now we're going to have to add the user ID that we had before, and basically that's something we get to create here. So we're basically going to visit this URL to register a customer. So I'm going to click on it. I want to log in with Microsoft. You can do it with Microsoft or GitHub. This is something open that we created for the MCP access. Given that I'm already connected here. Oh, I thought I was connected. Okay, I'm going to do it through GitHub then, because GitHub is connected already. Or so I hope. I don't want to have to go through. Yep, okay. We authorize, we grant consent to this, and we're given our unique user ID and our car attributed to who. So I'm going to copy the unique user ID. This is something you'll have to do as well when you're running this on your end. And we're going to update this into the instructions.txt file. So if I go here, instructions.txt, let me see if I can find it. It's not here. I'm going to add it. Let me copy the... And we'll copy this on top. I'll paste the user ID here, and the name, I'll just put my name, Gustavo. All right. Now I'm going to be running the agent again, and we're actually going to be keeping track of the orders that are happening through a little dashboard that we have created. So let me see. Let me start the agent here. And over here, I'm going to bring up the order dashboard. So this is our order dashboard. Oh, somebody already put some orders.
Oh, nice.
That's what's up.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's happening.
All right. Hello, I would like to order a pizza. Why do you assume the San Francisco are not? See. I would like a margarita from the Seattle store.
Now it's kind of figuring out what tools or what things that we need to call.
It's basically connecting to the MCP server, making sure that we can do everything.
Nice.
Yeah, it offers margarita pizza, so it's good for me. Medium size is fine, please. Additional toppings. I like my pizza traditional. To be honest, the usual topping that I would add is anchovies, but I know people don't like it.
It's controversial.
Yeah, it is.
So you think, pineapple and then on pizza is controversial. I do think anchovies on pizza is controversial. I don't mind. It's not a fave.
Yeah,
but I'll eat it.
Yeah, to me, it is controversial because I think it's an acquired taste, but it's a traditional topping.
It is.
You have it in Napoli.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see. It's making the order, hopefully, and we'll see it somehow here.
How is it determining when it's ready, like how it's doing some magic in the back end?
It basically has part of the toolings in the MCP server allows it to know how long it takes, and it just determines a specific.
43 takes a while.
Yeah. I couldn't find a price of pickup time for the medium pizza margarita in Seattle. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, just place it.
Yeah, just do it. Let's get that pizza.
Exactly. Oh, we ran into a little issue here. Did I not save? Well, give me the contact details. And I'll see if if I forgot to save or something. I did add the run handler. Did I name it differently though? Again, folks, this is why we add the beautiful final code sample at the end. So when we run into something like this, we are able to fix it. I might have missed something.
Something changed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just quit this and run it again. Ooh, I forgot to update my vector store. Okay. Thankfully I can save it.
Oh yeah, because the final code has a different vector store. Yeah.
I'm gonna just paste this here and all right, and now I should be able to bring the
Vector store back.
The vector store back. Yep. This happens all the time, folks. We forget one little thing and we'll see.
So we're doing it live.
Yeah. That's how you know. That's how you know. We're running the agent again.
There we go.
Oh, I would like to order a margherita pizza from Seattle store. Oh, I don't think a typo will matter too much. There's multiple other questions we can ask. We could ask things like, show me the available pizzas, what is the price, we'll place an order for 2 of these and so on. You see we're having the MCP being tool call, yeah. Yeah, your margarita pizza is being placed at the Seattle store. The total price is $12 and it'll be ready for pickup, etc. Let me know if you need anything else. And if we go into our pizza stores, we have a new one here. Yeah, so that's basically the agent here. There's multiple other things that we can do. I highly recommend you read through the best practices for integration that we have as well. But overall we basically built a whole agent in less than an hour, and it's able to connect and create orders for pizza. So hopefully y'all had a good time. Lastly, the one last thing I'll mention, we have the Pizza MCP server as an open source example, so you're able to look into this on your own if you're curious how this MCP server was built and what it does and all the things in it. So all of this is included in the instructions that we provided. But without further ado, we're really happy that you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time and running this with me. And thanks, James, for coming.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I think we have a
questions. Yeah.
special delivery, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was supposed to close this out, but I actually don't know where Christina is. So,
where's Christina? Oh,
I heard that you ordered a margarita pizza from Seattle. Oh, so here you go, check it out. Amazing, Gustavo, your favorite is right here for you.
It is the margarita,
right?
yeah.
I got one for me too, so I'm gonna go back and eat this with Katie.
And it has an order.
Bring that over.
We need this.
That's awesome. Well, seems like the agent worked.
The agent did work. That's easy.
Planning beautifully.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gustavo, for showing this through. And of course, you can follow along at home. You can rewind this. Everything is available on demand. And thanks for everyone for all the chats. And let's close it out with Katie and Christina as a chomp down with some pizza. I'm throwing it down mid-chew. Oh, wait, it is 2 developers. One of my favorite.